Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be my Wing Zero deck tech. You guys have been following along. I've been putting out a lot of good decks. A lot of them have been winning. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun with the G-Fred and Hathaway decks out there. We already got new types wins, so shout out to Veltim for doing that. I want to give a little shout out to Rain Knight for helping me grow and putting out deck tech videos, not deck tech, but gameplay videos for my decks, and giving a shout out to One Punch Podcast, One Frickin' Punch on YouTube. If you guys like to listen to me talk and rant and all that, we're putting out episodes again, so go check that out. This is gonna be my wing build, my wing video right here. So this is the deck I've been playing since beginning of Gundam, essentially. I entered the game with my aggro deck, playing Xeon, because people said that aggro was useless, and I said, well, hold my beer, watch me play, and then ended up winning my first tournament. So here I am strictly going to be going into my Wing Zero deck tech. So here we go. My EX resource. My waifu. Alright, so lots of cards here. Just got these in. So we're going to start off with the bases, guys. A little bit going kind of backwards here. But 2 Kusanagis. This base is very, very important. It allows you to get rid of all these tokens and make sure that the aggro player does not get out of hand. So we're playing 2 of these as an additional bounce card. This is very good into the Tallgeese token. It helps you out with the Rozelles and things like that. Your opponent might swing and think he's like gonna go for game. All of a sudden he hits a Kusanagi. It really slows him down. The HP value might be low, but it's not a big problem. We're trying to play as many burst cards as we can. This does not go like into the 30 categories like some other decks, but we can get there, and I have tried it before. Next up, we have 4 underground bases. This is the default best base in the game for basically green, but other any mix of colors you want, but this is like the best one. And we're using this very aggressively to make sure that we have our ramp in our hand. This is going to be a ramp based wing deck, and it's going to be a burst style deck. So this is how burst came to being. This is how I created burst mode. And this is how, now going to GD03, you guys are seeing a lot of, red decks that use a lot of burst that I've been propelling forward since day one. Burst is the answer to beating aggro, not blockers. And I've been an advocate for that for a long time, until they fix something with the game, or they introduce a lot more cards that can actually just nuke the board. I believe that burst is the way, and we are seeing that in the metagame right now. I've been trying to push for that for a long time. So if you guys are interested, go check out my Red Velvet videos and my other videos on my channel. So this is the best base if you're playing against a blocker heavy deck or a red deck in particular. They're not going to go aggressive against you. So start pumping these babies out like crazy and trying to draw all of your cards into your hand earlier. And that's what you're going to do with this. Recently I've been playing against my buddy Echo and playtesting against his O deck. I just play underground base. Turn 2, I go first. I go underground base into underground base. Yes, I lose HP or my shield area, but I get to basically put as many cards as I can into my hand. After that, we have 4 dual Maxwells. Dual Maxwell is a amazing card into the white matchup. There's a lot of people playing unforeseen because of the my big unit versus your big unit. I unforeseen you. I survive. Your unit dies. Dual Maxwell is excellent for that because they cannot unforeseen him. He's also good if people are still playing cards like Freedom Gundam, you might come across, and the AP reduction Kira as well. So as we head forward, we're going to see more cards in the next set, I'm sure, and then the set after that as well, having a lot of AP reduction. So here we have Dual Maxwell, a highly underrated card. He also gives you 2 HP here, which is useful on things like Lifrith. I won multiple games because they cannot Armor Ray and rest my Lifrith anymore, or my Striker Pack token, and that basically stalls them from going for game or taking out my shields. Right, so now they need cards like Lock On, they need cards like Athenzala. Well, Athenzala also only hits for 4 and 5, but yeah. The next up here we have here is 4 heroes. Hero Yui the GOAT right? So this guy right here is 4 of in our deck because we are playing Wing Gundam. He's more important at the moment because we are playing 4 bird modes. We're playing 4 Wing Zeros and then 3 Wing Gundams, right? And in those matchups where we draw him in the bird modes, and we want to go aggressive on our opponent, we're gonna be able to like link in with the bird mode and start going beat down towards our opponent's shields, and they're gonna essentially lose. So our deck can fluctuate between a late game deck with Wing Zero clearing the board out, being very defensive, to a very aggressive link, and you'll see what other cards we're playing here to make that happen. So here's very important. In particular matchups, you do want to use him and keep him around for the zero in particular, because Unicorn cannot kill the Wing Zero linked in one shot. So he has to send 2 units into it. Same thing against like ping decks. They gotta do a lot of ping damage to it to take it out. So you really want to keep it around and make sure that Wing Zero has additional damage so nothing can trade into him and survive. Which is a big problem when you play against like GD01, GD02 Freedom Blockers deck. Now we're going to head into the burst style cards. We got 2 Witch and the Brides. This card is MVP, extremely powerful out of shields against aggro decks, tokens, but most importantly against unicorns. In GD04, we're getting the new Manager cards, right? New unicorn modes. So it's going to be, I assume, really important there as well. But currently you're seeing a rise in Banshee modes again. So I was going to almost take these cards out of my deck or keep one, but because Banshee mode is returning to the meta a lot, obviously I've been releasing videos on that. Witch and the Bride completely negates their Banshee mode, and how it works is Banshee mode goes to attack. On attack trigger, mandatory, they have to put all of their 12 cards from their trash into their deck. Then you declare blockers. You will choose not to block. Then you will go to the action step. You will activate Witch and the Bride. You will bounce the Banshee mode back to their hand. Their graveyard is already shuffled. They have no cards remaining most of the time. And now the Banshee mode is useless. It cannot do its ability anymore. It's not going to first strike, link, double strike, anything. And his turn has been nullified because he spent all of his resources playing out of Banshee mode Marina Cruise. And you will also also know that he 100% has it now. And so you can play around it. Play a base, play a blocker, and so on. Next, we're playing 3 Path of Victory or Defeats. This is a very important card. It's highly underrated, I think. One of the best cards for a wing deck. And what this card basically allows us to do is guarantee that we can go get a link when we need it, and guarantee that we can get our Wing Zeros into our hand. If we have any resources left over, and we're not going to be playing Unforeseen, Witch and the Bride, anything like command-wise, and the action step, then we're going to be utilizing Path of Victory or Defeat to essentially go find ourselves the card we need. This is also why we do not play Overflowing Affection. You could cut one of these for 1 Overflowing Affection, or maybe 2. I play 3 of these because Wing Zero is so important to find in the aggro matchups that you are just digging for as many Wing Zeros as you can find. So on turn 8, you can always play it out, and as you move forward, you really want at least 2, if not 3, by the end of the game to really slow down the aggro decks and come out with the win. Usually against the aggro decks, it does come down to if you have 2 Wing Zeros or not. The first one really just helps clear the board. The second one is what kind of solidifies the game in your favor and makes the opponent run out of cards. I don't know why aggro decks in this game are allowed to have 100,000 cards in their hand, but it's just a flawed game design. Next up, we have 4 striker packs. We're playing 4 because this is a burst style deck, and we are going to be taking a lot of hits. We don't have too many defenses. Our biggest defense is our Wing Zero. Okay, so Wing Zero is our answer to aggro. Otherwise, we're playing 4 striker packs. It's just a good, extremely good card. One of the best cards in the game, and one of the best cards that if you're playing white, you're playing white for this card. Not even for Overflowing Affection, in my opinion. We're playing it for striker pack and like cards like Unforeseen Incident. So not much to say about that. Playing blocker. Actually, I'll make a quick comment on this. When I play into a white deck in particular, in GD01, GD02, and why I had so much success, is I would play out the striker pack as a 4-2 on purpose. I would force them to answer it, almost trick them into playing their sword strike into their ill strikes, to bounce the token, thinking, haha, I got you. I bounced your striker pack. I got a +1 on you. Yes, you got a +1. But now I know you don't have the L strike link or sword strike link. You're limited on the amount of cures you have for the remainder of the game. And so I would basically force them to use their cards earlier. Thus, my Wing Zero would get more value when it hit the board, dealing 3 to all units on the board. And if they did swing with Ale Strike into something else like a bird mode, I had Deathscythe to counter their Ale Strike as long as they had no blockers, which I could also do by playing the Striker pack, holding Witch and the Bride in my hand. Then, when they would go to swing with Ale Strike, take out my Striker pack, take out my bird mode, I'll Witch and the Bride their like Lifrith back to their hand, and then I would Deathscythe Link and take out their Ale Strike. So some bait moments with this. Also, if you're playing into red, right now red is very like heavy in the meta, right? So pretty much what you do is you also play the Striker pack as a 4-2, not a 2-4, because you want to get their close combats out of their hand or their improved techniques. If not, you can start swinging and beating them down. Red falls over to pressure. Yes, you will hit their shields and they will burst. Obviously, I designed the deck and the whole burst mode archetype, right? That's why I'm the godfather of burst. So they're going to pretty much take some hits here. And our striker pack will die, no problem. We still got value out of him. And he was going to die anyways eventually. So might as well get some damage in. So you can utilize him that way at the given moment. Now the main card in the deck, which we're going to stop and talk about here, is the best card in the deck. Very important card. This is the card you're going to be mulliganing for at all times. Is 4 copies of First Contact. Okay, whether you're a local player, a new type challenge player, a regional player, national player, everybody is surprised when they play against me and they see I'm running First Contact. It really changes the game because all of a sudden all of my Wing Gundams, my Wing Zeros, my Ultrons, etc. are coming out a turn earlier, right? When they're on turn 5, I'm on turn 8 already. My Wing Zero comes out significantly faster. And the one thing people always forget, they always ask me, what does First Contact do? It's like, well guys, First Contact for level 3 cost gives me a rested resource when I play it. So it's a strict ramp card. You're trying to play this on curve on level 3 so you can ramp and basically go from 3 to 5 or from 4 to 6, okay, if you're going second. So this card immediately just says I'm going to bypass that turn 3. Normally you would play Lifrith, they would play Amuro, rest your Lifrith, kill it. Well, instead of doing that, instead of letting them ping us and get their first forms online, we can play First Contact. And I've been playing this card since GD01. It's like my favorite card. This is like Coach's signature card. Wing Zero would be like my signature Gundam, 100%. But in terms of like actually playing the game, First Contact is my signature card. And Witch and the Bride could be like my second signature card. But these two cards are what made me win a lot of tournaments. And I always end up coming like... I worst a lot of aggro decks in my local meta. Pretty much I only play against aggro. Maybe like one wing deck here or there, and it's really important that I have First Contact. So the burst ability on this card, what it does is if your opponent hits it from burst, which is why it's so strong, it places an EX resource, which means it ramps you into your following turn, which means that your opponent all of a sudden is playing one way, has to readjust his whole turn way of thinking because you have now just leveled up for free. That means your Wing Zero is going to come out faster. Sometimes they'll hit 2 First Contacts in a row, and I'll go straight from like level 4 to 6 to 7, or I'll go from like level 5 to EX resources to 7, and then to 8 on my turn, going straight into a Wing Zero, wiping the whole board. Really powerful card. Most underrated card. I've got the SPs here. I really believe in this card. I wish the betas were cheaper because, you know, I need my girl, but this is what I've got right now. Really lovely card. If you guys have not bought these, I think this is a highly underplayed card. While we're on the subject, quick note to you guys. I think that First Contact, just like Overflowing Affections, Show Resolve, all these other good cards, right? Why is First Contact getting reprinted? From beta to starter deck to now an SP. Is Bandai stupid printing a card that a lot of people said is almost unplayable? Or is First Contact actually a goated card, and moving forward it's going to be a, you know, highly contested meta card? Because just like the other reprints, basically all the reprints are a strong card in Gundam. and have a lot of playability. So just like that, I believe First Contact also has a lot of replayability. Otherwise, I don't understand why they would reprint it so many times and have it a beta card and a SP here. So for my money, this is a good investment, and this is also a amazing, really nice card. And I wish I had the beta version. Maybe one day I will. But this is what the whole deck runs off of. Following that, we have two unforeseen incidents. Again, from burst, it can stop your opponent from dealing damage to your shield area. And after that, we basically just use it to make sure our units stay alive. We have Deathscythe and Duo Link. They do not. We can swing into them. We can unforeseen them. They cannot unforeseen us. It's a very funny interaction, always, and I enjoy using it quite a lot. So we're playing two of these. You could up the number to 3. I've thought about it multiple times. I only own the 2 copies here, so my winner one I sold pretty much immediately to Jim. So next up, we're getting to the units. We have 4 wing zeros. 4 wing zeros. You need to play 4 copies of this card because it is that important to get into. And it's your win condition against aggro. If you do not see wing 0, you have pretty much lost the game for sure. And if you do see too many of them, you're never upset about it unless it's your opening hand. Even then, because they're ramping, we're going to get to this card as fast as possible. So it's not like we're going to be waiting 8 turns to play wing 0. We're going to be only waiting like 3-4 turns to play our 0. It's very, very quick. Next up, we got 3 wing Gundams. We're not running 4 copies of wing Gundam. I don't think 4 copies is needed. I played with 4. I think 3, we're trying to make space in our deck, and 3 copies is fine. It's a card that is really, really nice. If we need it in a particular matchup, we will go grab it with Path of Victory and Defeat. Otherwise, we can hold on to it when we need to play it at the correct moment. Or we'll just, play it normally and just use it as a beat stick against the aggro matchups in particular, where it's more important. Against the blocker matchups and stuff, it's a nice card to really beat them down and gain some advantage, but it's not something that you really, really need. I find Deathscythe to be way more important in those matchups. So here we're playing 4 Deathscythes. It's a pretty key card. It also ramps, which is why it's a more of a priority over the Wing Gundam. If you are gonna try to get into Wing 0 as fast as possible, just play the Deathscythe, pair it with either Hero or link it with Duo. You do not need to attack with it if you don't want to. You need the resource out of him, and then it will bring you straight to a Wing 0 turn. If you play a Wing 0 Deathscythe link, or if you see your opponent play it, what follows the Deathscythe is basically always a Wing 0. Okay, so that's how you kind of like want to understand whether they have Wing 0 or not. This card is really, really good. People still get countered by it. Now, one of the gripes with the Wing Gundam archetype is we don't have draw power. We don't have card advantage, right? But the way that this deck does gain card advantage is via Deathscythe, because we first strike, destroy the linked unit, they lose 2 cards, we lose 0 cards. Then they want to kill Deathscythe, usually take to the linked unit to remove him from the battlefield, or combination of 2 different cards, and that basically means that Deathscythe we lost 2 cards, they lost 4 cards, we got a +2. That's really, really good. That's the same as playing 2 show resolves. So very, very strong. Comes up a lot even right now in the meta game, and it's just a fantastic card. Next up, I actually want to quickly touch on the level cost here. Level 6 4 cost. What this means is when we ramp with our first contact or we burst and get an EX resource off like bird mode and stuff, we can play Deathscythe and we can link it, and we'll still have our EX resource left over. We can also play Deathscythe, link, and if we have 1 resource left over because we're on level 6, that leaves space open for Unforeseen Incident. It leaves space open for Path of Victory in particular. So one of the ways you can do this is play Path of Victory first, find the link that you need for Deathscythe or any card that you want Wing Gundam, then play it out and link it. Okay, so you can do this all in one turn, which means you're really, really effective or consistent in your links on those key turns. And then we can also play like an underground base if we need to either find a card or simply put out a base to negate our shields from taking a bunch of damage. Next up, we have 2 baby Deathscythes here. 2 baby Deathscythes are basically like baby Kshatriyas. When we link it with Duo in the early game, we are gonna be a 5/5 stat stick. It has repair 1, which is also useful against Blurple and gun tanks and such. So ping damage, they really do need to ping us twice to get rid of him. And if he does not get pinged out, you can just not attack with him next turn, heal him again, repair 1. Now your opponent is going to be, again, trying to deal with this big body. When your opponent is playing a very slow deck, or a red deck in particular, you can link Deathscythe, and then basically swing at their shields over and over again because they don't have a way to out the Deathscythe. With any like improved technique, battle aces, close combat, they really need to utilize multiple cards to remove the Deathscythe, and that helps you basically remove all the removal spells early, and then you can continue to play more and more units. If they want to, like, let's say close combat your bird mode, well, that's totally fine because next time we do the Deathscythe link, and now they're out of removal, and it's a big stats take. They're gonna start taking damage and start bleeding. A lot of times your opponent also is not going to be able to, they have those brick hands. One of the things with the wing design was that we couldn't go beatdown mode. We couldn't go play Kira. We couldn't play, well, we could play Kira. I'm choosing not to play Kira, by the way, here, guys. As you guys can notice, there's no Kira in the deck. There's not a lot of blockers either. Gundam Deathscythe, right here. We would just start going beatdown. If our opponent has a bad hand, the aggro decks would just kill them. If we're playing a wing mirror match and the other wing player had a very bad hand or very, very slow start, we could not go really, really aggressive on them, and so they could basically stay in the game. We go to late game, and then we couldn't get some sort of advantage built up, even though our opponent had a breaky hand. With Deathscythe links and bird mode links, we can immediately start taking out their shields and their bases and apply a lot of pressure, thus giving us a huge advantage in terms of our shields. And they have to then out the Deathscythe and link for it, which also allows us to then Deathscythe link ourselves with the big Deathscythe and take out their heavy hitters. Then we're playing 4 bird modes. You can play 3, you can play 2. I'm playing 4 here to maximize the ramp, because sometimes, 8 is not enough. We played games where we have 8 pilots in the deck. We don't always see our pilot, or we see 1, sometimes too late. You really do want to be playing the ramp card as quickly as possible. So four wing bird modes here, 4 first contact. That's our 8 ramp cards in the early game. We're trying to find these on curve. If you do not have these in your opening hand, play an underground base. Try to go find it. What you can also do is, if you're on turn 5, is play Path of Victory and then go find basically a wing Gundam. So sometimes what I'll do is play first contact on 3. That will ramp us to 4. Then on our turn, we'll go to 5. Then I'll play Path of Victory or Defeat for 1. Go find me a bird mode. That's 3. Level up, right? And because we're leveling up again, we're going to go from 5 to 6. And then on the next turn to 7. And if we have an EX resource from the beginning of the game, we are at 8. Okay, so it's really, really quick. And the final card in our deck is going to be 4 Lifrits. So we're only playing 4 blockers in the deck, 4 Lifrits here. This is just our core vanilla blocker. It used to be really, really good with Duo, and I used to run like Soletta and stuff in this deck as well. But since the introduction of Fatal Strike, we could no longer rely on Lifrit protecting us. I was never a fan of Rick Diaz because Wing Zero kills Rick Diaz, and I don't want to play into my opponent's Wing Zero or also my own Wing Zero. And as we've seen in GD03 now, improved technique also removes it. There's lots of ways to kill 3 HP units. 4 HP has always been king in terms of the peak number of health required to kind of stay on the board and continue to do some work. This is the entire deck, guys. So quickly going to go back through it. We got 4 Lifrits, 4 bird modes, 2 baby Deathscythes. We got 4 big Deathscythes, 3 wing Gundams, 4 wing Zeros, 2 unforeseen incidents, 4 first contacts, 4 striker packs, 3 Path of Victory defeats, 2 Witch and the Brides, 4 hero Yuis, 4 dual Maxwells, 4 underground bases, and 2 Kusanagi bases. This is what I've been playing since GD01 to GD02, and in GD03 I just played a bunch of games last night with this exact 50. And this is the deck that has helped me win my locals, done really, really well at new types, always topped pretty much, and is a really, really good deck. This is a unique build. This is a very powerful build. If you can understand and learn how to use it correctly, you can modify this deck in many, many ways. So I'm going to be quickly talking about how we can do that and unlock the full potential of Wing, especially going into GD03. So let's put the deck aside. Let's talk about a card that is probably on everybody's minds. Ultron Gundam. Should we play Ultron Gundam? And should we play Shenlong? The answer is yes. We should be playing Ultron and Shenlong because there's still blocker decks out there. If we get sideboards, 10 cards, then we're going to be able to have these cards in the sideboard for those blocker matchups, because honestly, this card is how we can defeat the O. And if you're playing a non-ramp version of Wing, then guess what? You're going to need to find a way to kill all of their blockers. Fortunately for me, when I play against the O, I can ramp. And because I'm ramping, my Wing Gundam comes out so quickly, and my Wing Zeros that can apply so much pressure that they can't stabilize. All their early game blockers are basically useless. Wing Gundam can go to town on them. They can start losing shields. And even if they have the O in their hand, they can't play it. By the time turn 7 comes around, I'm fully like set up, level 10. They can't do anything to me. I have all the command cards I need in my hand. And basically I have full board control. But if you're not going to be ramping and you're going to get there at a very slow pace, you're going to need Ultron Gundam to basically clear up their Masalas, which is the key card you're trying to get rid of. If they're playing like a Unicorn base build, which is the one you're scared of. Unicorn mode is very important when you're playing an O deck against the Wing. So you really do want to out their O in particular so they can stop resting your Ultron and your Wing Gundam Zeros and taking them out with Big Unicorn. Unfortunately, Ultron with Cheng Wufei is only a 7/7. I was really hoping he'd be like a 7/8 so he can take damage and survive. But it is what it is. This card is really, really powerful in playtesting early in GD03 when this got announced, pretty much. This card just kind of shut down the aggro decks. There is a variation of this that has a 100% win rate into the Unicorn or very, very tall, like late game decks, like blue-white. And all you basically do is you ramp, number 1. Number 2, you take out all your lift frits and your blockers and you start playing like show resolves. And you basically go straight into Ultron Gundam. You take as much ramp as possible, you start playing Ultron Gundams, and you basically sit there and you ask your opponent, hey, can you play something or not? And the answer is basically no, because we're playing so many 8 drops, so many links. Wing Zero links are always going to be key in that matchup as well, because we want an 8/9 Wing Zero, and they cannot play anything. Once we got Ultron on the board for only 6, by the way, guys, like on turn 5 when we have 2 EX resources, right, going second, and we are level 8, we can play Ultron Gundam and still be level 9 on the next turn. That is why Ultron Gundam is really, really good. People undervalue that 6 cost right there that you can barely see in this alt art with the lighting. But yeah, it's only a 6 cost. So you can actually play this, you can actually link it, you can actually play it and keep resources open for unforeseen. For Witch and the Bride, you can play a base. Now, do you need to play Sheng Wu Fei with this card? The answer is no. This card is basically just a good late game piece. When you play Wing, if you play Wing a lot, there are games that come up when you're like, man, I really wish I just had one more beat stick. I keep drawing like Wing Gun bird modes and lift frits and Rick Diaz's and stuff. And, well, now we have an extra option of playing a big, big unit that has breach on it and can't be taken out easily, and also has a blocker killer ability right there. Deal 5 damage to any blocker on attack trigger. Awesome card. The altar looks pretty sick. It's really, really shiny and like white. So I do suggest putting 2 of these in the deck, and if I was gonna make space for these 2, I would immediately just basically put one in over the Path of Victory. I'll put the second one in over a one bird mode ramp or one Kusanagi base, and then run 5 bases. You can also remove one of the underground bases instead. So basically remove 1 base, remove one of our Path of Victories, and then we need Shang Wu Fei, right? So we would basically remove 1 hero out of the deck and play 1 Shang, and that will be our small package there, because Shang can still go on Wing Gundam and do work or onto anything else and be an AP increase. Then I still think we do need to play one Shenlong for that early game. And I think the way that we would go about doing that is you could cut one first contact if you wanted. I wouldn't suggest doing it, or the striker pack. I think that the card you would pretty much want to cut would be maybe like one big Deathscythe or reduce Wing Gundam to two. I think Wing Gundam is not as necessary as people think, and honestly, you could even remove the hero Yuis from the deck, as crazy as that sounds. But I wouldn't do that because we're playing so many bird modes. The deck runs perfectly fine on 2 bird modes or even 3. It's just important that you understand and practice with this deck. No Kiras, no blockers, no freedom. That's not a wing deck to me. That's never been a wing deck to me. So if you're out there, I know people in GDO 1 and 2 thought, well, GDO 1 and 2, like more like 2, thought, oh, everybody's playing Wing. Wing's the best deck. Wing has never been the best deck. It's still not the best deck. And it loses a lot, right? And it always loses to itself. Does it have very powerful cards? Yes, but they're very they're very catered towards, killing blockers with Ultron, only dealing 5, not even an auto kill for level 8 unit. And then Wing Zero can only deal 3 damage, not insta kill, to units at level 5 or lower. So it doesn't hit the whole board. There's a lot of 4 HP units around. It's not gonna wipe everything. People can play around it. And it costs 8 mana or 8 resources. It takes up your whole turn. It's not a cheap card to play out there. It's a very, very expensive. It's actually a linchpin of the deck, I guess, or not linchpin, but a crutch of the deck to try and overcome the aggro because we just don't have anything else. So it's really a counter card to the aggro matchups and Rizal beatdowns, if you can go into it. So these 2 cards for sure. Now you guys might be wondering, well, I want to add Zowarts to this deck. I did play Zowarts. I don't own any Zowarts because starter decks 1 through 4 were sold out, as usual. So how do you add Zowarts to the deck? Well, guys, you can always cut the baby Deathscythes, although I recommend not doing that. And then you can add 2 Zords. I don't think you need more than 2. If you want to add the 3rd one, you can cut 1 first contact because they do get bricky sometimes. But you have to just play with the deck and understand that this is a very, very strong tool. Just like playing with any other really good card in your deck, you're going to draw multiples of them. It is what it is. To overcome this, I would suggest just go in there, maybe play 2 Overflowing Affections for you guys beginning with the deck, and take out 1 Path of Victory. I play 3, take out 1 Path of Victory, add in that 1 Overflowing Affection, and then find a space for another one. If you guys want to cut all the paths and play 3 Overflows, perfectly viable option. I just think Path of Victory is a much stronger card, and it gets me what I need at a given moment. And I don't want to draw 2 and then find something, hopefully. I want to play 1 card and replace it immediately with Wing Zero, right? I just want to play this card, find my Wing Zero, and have a good time. As usual, guys, I appreciate you guys liking and subscribing to my videos. I appreciate you guys liking my breakdown of these decks. And I want you guys to share this, play test it, try it out. If I see first contacts running around the Discord servers, I'll know it's me. If anyone else sees somebody playing first contact Wing, especially a full ramp version like mine, you guys will know that watch my video. So appreciate you guys. As usual, I have coaching, guys, if you guys are interested. Whether you're new to the game, I know a lot of you guys are new to Gundam. Start off with the right fundamentals. Start off playing the game the right way. Understand the pillars of Gundam. Understand deck building. These things that is worth, honestly, the way that I teach you how to deck build, nobody knows how to deck build in TCGs as well as I do, pretty much. Obviously there's other people that deck build really, really well, but like it's like a top 1% thing. Okay, there's 1% of people in the world who play TCGs who actually know how to deck build extremely, extremely well. I'm one of them. I just had a client yesterday, right, pay me for coaching. He said, dude, the amount of money I spent with you in these 2 hours of deck building, it's already worth it. All right, it's super, super valuable. And just to let you guys know, the client is also a friend of the top national player who got 4th place, 31st as well from nationals. And it's not like just anybody, a random guy that I just met. It's literally a person who's in contact with national level players who are really, really good at the game, multiple regional tops, and even he is saying, "Wow, your the way you look at games and the way that you deck build is extremely, extremely powerful." I'm saying powerful, but extremely, extremely valuable. And I said, yes, I learned this stuff when I was like 6. I'm still utilizing the same principles. It's almost like, basic maths. You don't just learn to do math. You kind of get taught it, right? So you need to be taught how to do math in the first place. So you understand deck building and trading card games. So reach out to my Discord, guys. Coach Wing Zero. Get coaching. I'm free right now. I just had a few clients, finish up their coaching sessions with me. So come on in before the new type season end or the end of the month. And what else do I want to say? I was gonna say something, but I forgot. I don't know what I was gonna say. But peace.